Hey guys, it's Sunday. Beautiful, beautiful morning here in Fresno, California. And we are getting the van ready, getting it all prepped up for our upcoming road trip. So I kind of tell you what we have done, show you a few things we changed. First thing you always want to do though is check your oil, check all your fluids, make sure that they're where they're supposed to be, check your tire pressures. And on these vans with these big truck tires, they take a lot of air. I think it's like 55 in the back and 75 or something in the front. Even though I've got the larger tires, they're still the truck tires. So I'll show you a few things that I've changed and added. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we were running the lights, the overhead lights, the Wii Boost, and the compost toilet fan off of one of these little switches here. It worked for a while, but this stuff that's, see where, I don't know if it even shows where it made, but we all know where it was made, that they sell them on Amazon really cheap. Came with the voltmeter, but the problem is you can hear that rattling. The spring in here is already shot, and this thing would go off and on, so the lights would be on, and it would go off and you'd have to kick it or hit it, push it in, whatever. I tried taping it around there and that wouldn't hold for very long. So I said, you know what, this has got to go. So it's going in the trash. So what I ended up getting here was one of these, they call them a 4-gang switching system with 4 toggles and also a voltmeter. So as you can see right now, the EcoFlow Delta is putting out 13.7 volts to this switch. And then I've got the lights here for the overhead. You can see they went off, they turned back on. Oops, let me turn it back on again. This one here runs the compost toilet. That's why I put the biohazard symbol on it. And then I used radar for the Wii Boost. When you turn them on, they'll light up. And when you shut them off, they glow in the dark for just a little while. I got the 4 one switches because in case I want to add something here, then I got a spot to do it. So this was a vast improvement. It's really steady. I just screwed it up into the metal of the window frame there, where a window is going to go in next year, not this year. So that was a vast improvement. I really like that one a lot. Okay, so as you watched our last video, you saw that we put in this little cabinet here so we could put our drawers in there, our little Rubbermaid drawers. They were mounted on top of the one down below, and we had it velcroed and then screwed in into the back in there. And it was okay, but this thing is just lots of storage, but just too flimsy. So we got this. This is basically a toy box that we got on Amazon. And then we put this fastener on it here. Stuck a little Velcro right here. So when you open this up, it doesn't swing out if you're at an incline and hit you. And that worked out real good. We got some spice racks here that we mounted to the back of this. And also into the backsplash there. And we are using the Wave 3. We'll be using that on the trip to keep us warm. We've got let me show you the vent in the window. Probably cover about half of that because you don't need a lot, just as long as you got air recirculating in here, because it's not the hydro, what do they call that stuff? The hydrocarbons or carbon dioxide, that's what it is. That's not what will get you. It's the lack of oxygen because it gets burned up from the flame in here. And then there's a little propane tank for it right there. So just run the hose down there at night and plug it in right behind the Delta. That Velcro you see on the Delta, that's for this little accessory box. I got some Velcro at the bottom. Just slap it right on there. Another thing too I did is I added a safe in here. So if you're away from your van, you got jewelry or other things that you need to protect, we can store that in a safe. I'll show you a picture of that real quick. I'm not going to show you where it's at, but I will do a real quick snapshot. Okay, so that's where we got it mounted up against the wall. There is a hardened steel coated cable that I wrapped around some 2x4s to kind of double secure it. I also added another basket here because I'm diabetic and I have to carry a lot of supplies with me, and I just didn't have the room. I was using one of my storage bins that I should be able to use for clothes to put my medicine bag in there, but I'm going to put it back over there, so this will give me more room since this is going to be a 14 to 15 day trip. Going to need more, clothes in here. Also added this fan here. It runs off a USB port, and it also is rechargeable. So when the power's off, it will run off the battery, and then when you turn the power on, it charges it up. Pretty cool, huh? That's where the wave through will be when we're parked for the night. And if it gets too cold, we'll just turn it on right there and keep like I said, the ventilation going. Somebody suggested that you keep your fan on low speed, and it'll draw enough air to keep it circulating and not lose too much heat. So let's see, real quick before I go up there, make sure you check the battery in your CO2 detector. I came out this morning, this thing was beeping. That annoying beep that you get in the middle of the night, just saying change the battery. It was low, so I put 2 new batteries in it. So it's probably a good practice before you go on a long trip, just to put some fresh batteries in there. We also have this Thermo Pro, or Therm Pro as it's called. There's a sensor on the outside of the van. I don't know if you can read that or not, but yeah, I guess you can. It gives you the outside temperature, humidity, inside temperature and humidity. Really convenient. So when you wake up in the morning and you see it's like 30 degrees outside, you're like, oh yeah, I better put a jacket on. It's gonna be cold. Alright, let's head up to the roof. Okay, over on the passenger side in the rear, there's these little cubbies. And I started probing the wires. There's my lead wire. And I found this wire here, and it appears to be yellow with a green stripe or gray stripe. I'm not really sure. It's kind of faded out. But put a quick connector on it. You just simply put this one on and pinch it and it locks in. Get a spade terminal, plug it in, and then just wire it all the way up to the top, and I'll show you where it comes out up there. Up here in that corner, they've got these rubber grommets like this one right there and that one right there. You can feed it up, and you have to stick your hand in from the inside, find the wire, and then shove it in. But I ran through this way and ran down, found it, and then pulled it all the way down into the inside. So I just got to seal this better, put some more of the silicone around it, and that'll be good. I didn't use that bladder because it's sealed pretty good. But hindsight's 20/20. If I had thought about that earlier last year, I would have just ran it into that. Would have just like drilled a hole on the side of it right here or something and had it come out. And these are all the red lights. Alright, real quick, this is the garage. Got the leveling blocks back here. As you can see, little lantern there. That is our blanket for the outside, and we use a little artificial grass near the entry steps to get in. Wipe your feet off before we get in. This here is a battery jumper. portable battery jumper. These are a must. Charge these things up. They'll stay charged for over a year. And if you leave your lights on or something like that, get in there under the seat if you have to. I don't, because I ran a bolt out there to a negative cable, so I have access under the hood to hook up to the positive cable by the fuse box, which I'll show you here in a minute, and I can just jump start it from there. There's our garbage can, nice screw on top for camping, keeps critters out. We just picked up this new Outland portable fire pit. This one's a lot smaller than our normal one we take camping, so because we needed the room. In here, these are a must too. If you guys don't know how to fix a spare tire, when you get a flat, you need to get a kit and learn how to do it. It's not that hard. It's fairly easy. I have an air compressor up in the front, a Viair. Once you fix the seal the plug and fix it, you can be on your way. You got to get some rubber cement. Here, I'll put this down, I'll show you guys. Rubber cement, and this, where's the reamer? When you get a nail, take a pair of dikes, pull out the nail or the screw or whatever's in there, run this through the hole. This is a reamer. You want to make that hole a little bit bigger. You take this, and you take these string patches. Okay, you peel one off, you stick it through here so it's nice and even. You twist it together, and when you pull your reamer out, you'll stick it in that hole all the way down and twist it, like this when you get in there, and then pull it back out, and then you cut the top so it's nice and even with the tread with your dike. Pump yourself up with air again, your tires, and you're back on the road. Simple as that. You can find these on Amazon. They're not that expensive. Some of them come with really small kits of this vulcanizing cement for rubber. I bought a separate one because the smaller ones tend to dry out sooner because you don't use these that often. Keep it in there secure. Over here is where I'm going to put the propane tank, the bigger bottle for the fire pit. In here, I got all of our electrical connectors and wires, just in case we go to shore power and they have the 30 amp. We got an adapter for that. Okay, and then I've got some propane cans in here. You can get these at Home Depot. They lock in with each other when you stack them. And also our awning lights are in there with the solar charger that powers them up. Since we're going to be out in the desert, these are stargazing binoculars, and I got a big tripod that we take out at night and look up into the sky and check out the stars. And the moon looks, you can see the craters and the mountains on the moon with these binoculars right here. I also keep a little funnel up here to add oil if we have to. I know that's not in a bad location, but who likes to spill oil? I know I don't. Make sure your coolant is where it's supposed to be. Right there. Pull that out of the way. It's right there at the bottom of max. This will fluctuate with different temperatures. So sometimes it'll be a little bit lower, and usually that's about the highest it goes. So, but you never want to see it down at the bottom. If you do, you need to add to it and then figure out why you're losing it, because you shouldn't be losing any coolant. Brake fluid, make sure you check that. Washer fluid goes right here. Make sure that's nice and full. If you're going to go into an area where it's going to be below freezing, make sure you get the appropriate fluid for that. Also, I'm going to have a can of de-icer I can spray on the windshield. Check your wiper blades. Make sure they're good. Get all the dead bees out of your dash. I don't know how he got in there. And like I said earlier, check your oil. Use this oil. It's the best out there. Your engine and your wallet will thank you later. On these transits, the drain holes on those vents like to plug up. They get debris in there. So I took this. I think this is heat shrink. Really stiff heat shrink. I cut some off and stuck it in there so it keeps it open. And then you just got to make sure you keep them clean too, all the time. These things are also famous for water leaking down and getting onto the air cleaner box. I don't know if you can see that in there, but the way that box is designed, you probably can't see it. The lip comes up and water just soaks right into that air cleaner. So got this Tupperware lid and stuck it right over there, so if any of it comes out over here on a hard rain, it just runs down the side. Some people say they have problems with it getting into the computer on these things, and I think, where is that ECM? Oh, it's right back there. Sometimes the water will get down in the ECM. I get this thing in a little bit better in there, and can cause some issues too if you start getting some funny electrical problems. That's where I would look first. Make sure that's dry. Make sure all your lights are working. So do a walk around on the van and check them. Make sure all your lights are working. So do a walk around on the van and check them. Make sure all your lights are working. So do a walk around on the van and check them. Now I got it working. There's the running lights. If you look up, I'll try to back up here. If you look up on top, you're going to see the lights, the clearance lights I put in. I hope you can see them. Check both sides, make sure those are good. Up there, you can see, I can see those are working. Those can be out, you don't have anything to worry about. It's the tail lights and your headlights and stuff. So that's the ones that'll get you pulled over. Check all those, check your headlights, check your high beams. And then have somebody check your brakes for you. What I usually do is turn on the flashers, because the flasher uses both elements of the bulb, so that would indicate your brakes are working too, your brake lights. I'll show you. So if you see in there, you'll see both elements light up. One's your running lights, one's your brake lights. So that one is good. Or you can always just get someone to push on the brakes. So we're good there too. Well, that's a weird looking golf cart. It's an electric golf cart. Okay, so like most of us, if we're not full-time van lifers, they sit at our house, or I guess in storage too. We have this 10-watt solar panel we keep out here. It keeps that battery charged up. I got it plugged in to the outlet right there, which I wired up so it's hot all the time. And that's also where I put my portable satellite, right there. And you know, start the thing up, check your AC, and you know, just generally give you a good look, get a good look over inside here, make sure everything looks kosher before you take off. One little hack that I found works real well is taking these seat belt covers. They go on the seatbelt to protect your neck from getting chafed. I just opened them up and put some Velcro on the panel and Velcro on the seat belt cover, and put them on there so when you rest your elbow, it's not on hard plastic. So I talked about this in an earlier video. You may have already saw it. Sorry to repeat myself, but they work really good. You all know what that is. Ice scraper. Just in case you run out of de-icer and you're out boondocking in the frigid temperatures, these are a must-to-have also. Before I finish up, here's a couple other items I want to share with you guys. These are, in my opinion, these are really good for your motor. I've seen results. What they've done, they clean the intake valves while you're driving, especially on a long trip. It really helps. Here are the two products that I use at least twice a year. Unless I go on a long trip, I'll put one in halfway through our trip. Okay, the first one is BG's 44K Fuel System Cleaner. This stuff is awesome. Awesome. A lot of your new engines these days are direct injected, which means the fuel gets directed into the port behind the valve, so that can build up carbon in there. This will help keep that clean. Works awesome. Second one, Techron. Best stuff for lubricating valve train, your valves in there, and also keeps your top of your pistons clean, and also the valves too. You can't go wrong with these products. They were amazing. If you run and get gas all the time at Chevron, that's your normal station you go to, you should be fine. I would still run the Techron at least once a year, and then I would run the 44K once a year also. BG also makes a product called MOA. I don't have it because I already changed the oil. And yes, I do use AMSOIL, which is the world's best synthetic oil. I also put a can of MOA in there. Double protection. I want this motor to last way over 500,000 miles, and it's possible with these products if you use them regularly. Okay, that should wrap it up here, folks, and I'll be right back. Almost forgot one last product. Rain-X. Spray that on your windshield, because if your wipers start to leave streaks and you get into a big rainstorm, you're going to be glad that you put that on your glass. Spray it on there. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. We will see you on the road in 2 weeks. I'll try to post as many times as I can. It might be a few days. Just to let you know, general direction we're heading, it will be east, southeast. So probably, I know we're going through Arizona, New Mexico. I don't know if we'll make it into Texas or not, but there's a lot of things to see. So we'll keep you guys updated where we're at. So for now, peace out. Guys, be kind to each other. Please help the folks in Florida. They need your help right now. They're in a world of hurt there. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.